Hey guys, I'm excited to finally report to you guys about the launches of the Tauer Perfumes Rose Absolue and Vanilla Absolue. So it comes about 11 years after Rose Flash and Vanilla Flash were launched. You guys know these two fragrances? So Tauer Perfumes, Andy Tauer had a collection of fragrances called Tauerville. They were these super intense fragrances in, I believe, extract concentration, although rose came as an extract, it says perfume, but the vanilla was an eau de parfum. But a really great collection of fragrances. He had the rose flash and the vanilla flash, and then he had fritchuli flash, amber flash. There might even been, there's a tuberose flash, and I think there might have been a leather flash. I can't remember. So he launched those fragrances, but they kind of disappeared. And about 11 years after, he's relaunched Rose Flash as Rose Absolue, and he's relaunched Vanilla Flash as Vanilla Absolue. Are you guys fans of the originals, or are you guys fans of the new ones? And are you a fan of Tauer Perfumes? Do you enjoy the fragrances? So Andy Tauer used to come to San Francisco quite a bit at Tiger Lily Perfumery, which is now Ministry of Scent. And so I got to meet him there, and this was around 2014. He was here for the launch of the fragrances, and we shot some videos. Unfortunately, some of that content is not on the channel. It's on a previous channel, but there is some content with Andy Tauer on the current channel you're watching this video on. But I was very excited to see these brought back, as I was a fan of these two fragrances. In fact, I have one full bottle of Rose Flash, and I've got this much of the Vanilla Flash. But also the Rose Flash reminded me of the now discontinued Aramis Perfume Calligraphy Rose fragrance. Do you guys remember this one? So what I wanted to do is talk to you about these two fragrances because they're really great. They were my two favorites in the Tauerville line. And it's obvious that he's bringing back the two most popular, or not for me, because I don't think that he would be bringing these back for me, but these two are my favorite fragrances. I want to also highlight how great the new packaging for Tauer Perfumes is. Look at that. The bottle fits right in here, like that. Really awesome. Much better than the metal canisters that he used to use. Probably less expensive as well, and I kind of like these. These are probably recyclable and all that good stuff. But the box comes with a card. It talks about the fragrance, and then there's always a signature by Andy Tauer himself in the fragrances. And these are sold at Ministry of Scent. Remember, I said it used to be called Tiger Lily Perfumery. It's at Ministry of Scent. So if you're in the San Francisco area or you're visiting, head over there, go smell these and some of the other fragrances from the house, like L'air du Desert Marocain, Lone Star Memories, and so on and so on. So what's a Rose Absolue all about? It does smell like Rose Flash to me, but I also feel like it seems a bit more... My bottle is pretty old, so it's smelling a bit more like alive rather than going a little flat in the older bottle. So I like that about it, but it totally takes me back to when I was really heavily wearing Rose Flash. In fact, if you search my channel for Rose Flash by Tauerville or Tauerville Rose Flash, you'll see a lot of videos pop up because I was featuring it at the time. But this features notes of fruity accents, citrus sparkle, soft spices, rose absolute, floral warmth, amber, soft woods, resins, benzoin, and ambergris. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on it. Does this one excite you? Are you a fan of rose in fragrances? Do you like the Tauerade? You know what the Tauerade is? The Tauerade is the DNA that Tauer Perfumes has all throughout his fragrances. In fact, it's so prominent here, you'll smell it. If you're familiar with any of the fragrances of Tauer Perfumes, it'll remind you of some of the others. But they're changed up so much. It's just that he's got that DNA in there. It goes from one to the other fragrance. You'll say, okay, this is Tauerville. This, to me, I think personally, the Tauerade is L'air du Desert Marocain, because for me, a lot of the fragrances do remind me of L'air du Desert Marocain, and maybe perhaps L'air du Desert Marocain has a base, and that's the base he uses in a lot of the other fragrances. So maybe it's the base that we're smelling. But what I like about this one, it's fruity, it's a bit juicy, it's got a lot of ambery warmth, it's dense, it's resinous, and of course, lots of woods in here as well. It's quite spicy, but this was such an awesome release, Tauerville Rose Flash. I've probably gone through several bottles. In fact, I believe the fragrance actually launched as a roller ball, like a roll-on fragrance. Then I think it became so popular that he launched this collection. At first it was the Rose Flash, Vanilla Flash came right after, and we were all over it. He also had a Patchouli Flash, now that I remember. That one was also great. Sadly, I don't have it. And now I remember there was also an Incense Flash. Who remembers these fragrances? But either way, I'm so happy this is back. What I like about this fragrance also, it's so long lasting. A lot of the Tauer perfumes last a long time. This has not so much fresh notes, so it's a lot of resinous ambery notes. This one also has ambergris. It's utilizing ingredients that would go to make an amber accord, plus it's utilizing ambergris in here. So the combination is quite long lasting, but super awesome, very jammy rose that might come off fresh, but there's so much warmth in here, dense warmth that yeah, you'll have a great experience wearing it. It's taking the freshness of rose, the freshness of the fruity accents that they have, the citrus sparkle, and meshing it with a lot of warmer, denser, intense notes in the dry down. It's great. I'm so happy it's back. Now we can wear it again because I really, really love the smell. For a long time, I was wearing a lot of Tauer perfumes and really falling in love with the brand and the DNA, of course. And then, of course, wearing a lot of the Tauerville fragrances. And I was missing this for a long time, and I'm so happy it's come back. So let me know your thoughts on Rose Absolue from Tauer Perfumes. Do you remember Rose Flash? Do you guys get the similarities? I think the formula should be the same because it's very similar, but my bottle has gotten a bit old. So I'm smelling the freshness of the new bottle in the Tauer Perfumes bottle. And I'm saying freshness, and I'm not saying because it's a fresh fragrance, it's just fresher ingredients, if that makes sense. All right, then we're going to talk about Vanilla Absolue. The Vanilla Absolue is a redo of Vanilla Flash. And again, these two next to the Patchouli, actually, these two are my favorites, and the Patchouli came after. And there were a few others like Fritchouli, the Amber Flash, and of course, I think Tuberose Flash as well. But for me, this was a kind of sort of a gourmand take on a Tauer Perfumes DNA. And I don't think Tauer Perfumes did a lot of gourmands, but this one did act a bit gourmandesque. This is a 2025 launch like the previous fragrance. It's created by Andy Tauer. This is featuring notes of spices, rosy geranium with a dash of dried fruits, dark vanilla, rose, rich dried tobacco leaves, labdanum, patchouli, balsamic resins, coumarin, ambergris. So ambergris is quite a bit used in Tauer Perfumes fragrances, you know? He uses it quite a bit. It's in L'air de Desert Marocain or A Cour de Desert. So that might be his signature or Tauerade or DNA, or a combo of that with other ingredients. Because once again, with this fragrance, I get the DNA of Tauer Perfumes or Tauerade. It's there. But it's interesting, less in Vanilla Absolue, more in Rose Absolue. Let me know if you guys have compared these two, and if you get the DNA as much as I do, and you get less in the Vanilla Absolue in comparison to the Rose Absolue. But this is a really gorgeous syrupy but powdery take on vanilla, and it's gourmandesque. I wouldn't say it's a full-on gourmand because there's other notes in here. It also has that tobacco, but super gorgeous, really lovely, dense take on vanilla. Lots of resinous and balsamic touches as well, because he's featuring balsamic resins, so it's acting resinous and balsamic. So maybe he's got things like Tolu or Peru balsam. Of course, he's got labdanum in here, which is creating the amber accord. So this does get ambery. Both of the fragrances do get ambery, but both of them are super, super yummy, super awesome, and really, really happy that they're back. Up top, there's a lot of spices for sure. It's acting very spicy and fruity. There's dried fruits. I love dried fruits in fragrances. Absolutely love them. I don't know if it's because I love eating dried fruits, but I think they kind of go into a fruity ambery direction when there's dried fruits, and I think maybe that's why I like them. because they're not fresh anymore. You know, when they're dry, they're not fresh anymore. But when you're smelling this, you can smell the rose. It's not as rosy as the Rose Absolue, but this is rosy for sure. And I wouldn't call it a rose fragrance, but it acts rosy. It's quite a dry fragrance. There's dryness here. And you're also picking up the tobacco leaves, but it's not smoky. This is not smoky whatsoever. Tobacco leaves has that kind of musty, dry, leafy kind of smell. And you get that here, but it's nicely blended. It's not standing out too much. Really wonderfully, it's standing out. But of course, lots of amber and the earthiness of the patchouli, which you can notice in this, but super blended beautifully and really awesome. I can't decide which is my favorite because both of them are great and both of them I wore so much of. Really happy that these are back. Let me know if you've sampled Vanilla Absolute and Rose Absolute. Add a comment below. Are you a fan of Tauer Perfumes? Let me know your favorite fragrances from the house. I should probably do a deep dive video, although I haven't kept up with the brand as of late, but I do have a lot of fragrances from the house, including some of the flash fragrances and some of the very limited edition Tauerville fragrances that come in the long bottles. You guys want a deep dive on Tauer Perfumes? I also have some discontinued fragrances that I have upstairs, up there with all my discontinued fragrances. But let me know if you want a Tauer Perfumes deep dive video. And do let me know what your thoughts are on these two fragrances that are brought back now in the regular Tauer Perfumes collection. They used to be in the Tauerville collection. Do add a comment below. But thanks so much for watching today. I do want to say, if you want to, like I said, check these fragrances out, you can go to Ministry of Scent here in San Francisco. If you live here, it's pretty convenient, most likely, for you guys. Or if you're not living here, it's easy to get to. They have 2 locations. But I do have these fragrances linked in the info box, so you can always click and head over and find out more about the fragrances. But thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon and also give a thumbs up for this video. See you guys later. Bye-bye.